Hello, everybody. My name is Jyoti Bisbey. I'm from the Ppp unit of the World Bank Group, and I'm really excited to be here with you, even though it's virtually, and I'm really missing the experience of being in Sao Paulo, the beautiful city of Sao Paulo. And I'm here joining this panel to talk about the Ppp Certification Program. And in my presentation, I want to cover two areas for the program. First is why the World Bank Group has collaborated with other MDBs in really putting this program together and explaining you the reasons and what is our thinking in rolling this out. And the second part of the presentation is going to be around the program itself, how the program has been developed, and what really are the steps in terms of taking the exam and studying it, which is more to do with our delivery partner, APMG International, and which is the Examination Institute. So just to put the certification program in perspective, while it is just a certification program, it is an important part of the overall agenda of the multilateral banks in terms of starting from the top, which is the inability to meet the infrastructure demand, which in turn leads to an increase in infrastructure gap. There are huge needs even today in Brazil, and the governments, both at the federal and the subnational level, are thinking how to really meet that kind of demand. Does the government have enough budget? Does the government have enough technical expertise? So there's a natural tendency to think, what else can we do? Who else can we bring into the mix? And that's why we are seeing more and more emphasis on concessions and in PPPs all over the world, and especially in Brazil, where you have taken certain positive steps towards enacting the concession law and enacting the PPP law. And especially in Sao Paulo, we have seen a lot of PPP projects. So in that background, we also see that there is also a huge gap between the understanding of how to involve the private sector into the infrastructure, public services, and public infrastructure. The capacity of the procuring authorities who have traditionally been involved in the public procurement, whether they are able to adapt their procedures, their processes, and their understanding of sitting together and sometimes across from the private sector. The ability of the private sector to understand what the public authorities are talking about, what is their perspective. There's a huge gap in the market in terms of this common understanding, and which takes us to the next box where we are seeing, you could be talking about the same thing, but meaning completely differently. If, for example, you may talk about a contract, the private sector may think about the contract in a very different way versus a procuring authority, which could be referring to the contract which they have been using for conventional procurement projects. And which leads us to the biggest gap in the market today, which is lack of bankable pipeline. Generally, what we see in countries is a wish list. In countries, they have huge pipeline. They have more than 100 projects sometimes. And not all of them are actually really suitable to be procured as PPPs or even concessions. So the bankability, the commercial viability of those projects they have not paid attention to that particular aspect. And as a result, the MDBs have really joined efforts and have collaborated and integrated our approach to reduce this gap in the market today, where we achieve solid understanding of private sector participation in public infrastructure and services. We bring commonality, we find the common ground, and we make each other understand. And we provide the awareness of what public and private sector can really bring to the table, the value and the positive and the supporting each other. And it's a win-win situation, a kind of awareness which really is lacking in the market today. So with that respect, this is kind of an overview of some of the tools which we are developing with other multilaterals. I'm not going to go into the detail of it, but it really signifies the not only the gaps in the market in terms of the PPP cycle, which you can see from step 1 of enabling environment, 2 to project preparation, then to procurement and to project implementation, but also makes you think that there is so much work we need to do. And then in this red box, you will see that we have the Ppp Certification Program. This is only one of the tools. This is only one of the support which we can bring to you. And one of the ways you can address the challenges which you are facing in your environment and in your circumstances. If you go to this website, you'll be able to see further descriptions of some of these tools and use them if they're available to you for free, and also use them in parallel or with together, or transform them according to the needs which you have. So more about the Ppp Certification Program. It is an innovation of the multilaterals listed here, and our role is really to provide the governance, to provide the guidance and provide the intellectual thinking and the global expertise which we have from different, from our workings in different countries and different environments, easier, difficult, complicated, fragile. And then we have partnered with an examination institute, APMG, and you have Priscilla Montero, who's representing APMG, sitting among you, and she will be able to give you a lot more information than what I would cover in my presentation. An examination institute is very important in terms of a certification program, just like a CFA. If you were to take a CFA, all the exams in the CFA program, the CFA institute, the examination institute, is the one which actually gives you the credential. So just like that, APMG International plays a very strong role and an important delivery partner of the agenda from the MDBs. So it is a contract between the World Bank Group and APMG. It is a performance-based, almost a PPP contract, where they're actually going to be paid on delivery of certain milestone. For example, they had to develop the certification guide, the body of knowledge. They have to deliver a certain number of exams in Part 2 countries, which is a priority for the multilaterals. They're also going to be translating the guide in Spanish. And then finally, they will be the one issuing the CP3P credential. The objectives of this program is really, you building on this background, which we went through in the previous slides. Understanding, you take, for example, a term called commercial close, financial close. It means completely different in different countries, in different environments. You may find that you are sitting with other stakeholders, and you may be talking about the same term and mean completely different. And this was the reason where this was over a coffee chat where with IFC advisory, transaction advisory, where they were sitting with government stakeholders and private sector 5 years ago, where this scenario was actually playing out. And during the coffee break, they realized that everybody was having a different conversation because there was no common understanding. So this idea really came about of why don't we have a certification program to really enable everybody to at least be on the same page to begin with. It is written by PPP practitioners. That was one of our goals in the program. And in addition to the practitioners, a team of about 12 PPP practitioner authoring team, we actually went out and did a full public consultation on the certification guide. We reached out to every possible PPP expert, bilaterals, public authorities, legal firms, private firms, multilaterals. We received so many comments over the course of 4 months. It went from 500 pages to 1,000 pages, and that just tells you the extent of interest in the market. It is available online. It is absolutely free. If you go to this website, you'll be able to see, and you can download it. So this is how the certification guide really plays out. It has 8 chapters, and again, it reflects the PPP cycle first chapter is a PPP 101, and it reflects, it is applicable to the first exam, which is the foundation exam, and it's available now. Anybody can take it. The chapter 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and part of 5th will contribute towards the PPP preparation exam, which is going to be available next year, early next year, 2017. And the next 3.5 chapters are going to be are going to be the basis for the PPP execution exam. Again, these two exams, preparation and execution, are being prepared today and will be available early next year. So just to give you the current status, the program was launched in 2016, and it has been really an amazing journey for us in comparison to any other certification program which you may see. CPA program, the CFA program really took 20 years to really kind of build itself, and then another 20 years to be established in the market. And we have just launched in 2016, the June 2016, and you can see the immense market acceptability of this program. We have had more than 60,000 downloads of the guide. We are getting average of 4,000 hits every week. Some of the websites which we have in our bank are actually getting 4,000 on a monthly basis. So that just gives you the scale. Over 150 people have registered for the exam, and 100 people have taken the exam. In the PPP unit of the World Bank Group, we are all required to take the exam. I would say about 90% of us are foundation certified at this point, and then the rest of our colleagues are on their way. And when the next two exams come out, we will be taking those exams as well. There are 4 training organizations being accredited, and I will go through them in the next couple of slides. In terms of most searched word on Google or on any kind of browser, Ppp Certification, Ppp Body of Knowledge, Ppp Guide, Ppp Introduction. And then top countries which have visited this website, you can see the variety of the reach of this program. The original target audience for us was, of course, the emerging markets and the developing countries. But you can see it doesn't have any audience, any particular audience, because the knowledge on PPPs is so little at this, in the market, which really brings all the nuances of the sectors, of the regions, of the kind of different environments, is really the centralized source. And you have countries like Canada and US, and then you have countries like India and China, Australia, you have Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore, Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa. So there is just, so in terms of the target audience, entire world is a target audience for this particular program. And I would like you to concentrate just on Brazil. So Brazil is, the people from Brazil have visited this website. Brazil has been consistently among the top 10 visitors to really gain the knowledge which is available on this website. So if you keep your eye on Brazil, I want to point out to you, in the next slide, you don't see Brazil highlighted at all, because this slide is for exam sitting. And this is where we really need your support and your understanding on how we can reach your clients, your audience, your colleagues, your staff, your other public authorities in who are sitting next to you in Brazil, because Brazil is a strong target market for us and for APMG International, and one of the reasons we are here sitting with you and sharing with you this program is that we are looking for partnership. We are looking for you to take the exam, to read the chapter which are available on the body of knowledge. We want you to share the new experiences, case studies, the new knowledge which you have gained with other friends, colleagues, right? And the other interesting thing, you will see the exams. You see Armenia here. You have Jordan, Bahrain, UAE, Kenya, Nigeria, and Bangladesh and Thailand. So and Kazakhstan. Normally in a course of time, in terms of PPPs, we never come across these kind of professionals. So it's really about creating this community and coming together. And if you meet, for example, today from Sao Paulo and you travel to Kazakhstan, you'll be able to have the same conversations because you know that person has taken the CP3P. And that's really the objective of this program. So how do you study for this foundation exam, which is available now? You can study yourself. Chapter 1 is available. And you can study through the online training, which is also available for free on APMG's website. It takes about 10 to 12 hours. And I would say that about more than 200 people have taken the online training. And you can also go to the accredited training organizations. It is for an additional fees. The training programs are offered by commercial companies. And we have 4 of them which are accredited. We have PA Consulting, is one of the top consulting companies in the world. We have CP3P, which is a public finance association based in UK. And we have K-Infra, a knowledge infrastructure. It's a new company formed by the lead author Andres Riboyo of the Body of Knowledge. He's originally from Spain, and he's actually done a lot of work in Brazil as well. And we have P3 Korea. And I should mention that Marcos, who's sitting in the panel with me, has been one of the contributing authors of the Body of Knowledge. So in addition to that, you may also want to speak with him about the experience which he really went through in putting this program together. You can take the exam online, and this and I should mention that this program is completely online. Nothing is printed. You can download the Body of Knowledge online. You can save it on your computer. I think I've only seen about 2 people printing the whole thing. As I can tell you, it's a big volume. So even the exam is online. I took it online. There was a person watching me on the camera, and I had to show my surroundings on my iPhone, and the person basically locked my computer, and I took it online. I was sitting in my office, and I was done. I was done in 1 hour. I didn't need to go to a center. I didn't need to go anywhere and spend a day or take leave from my work, and I was done. And so a lot of my colleagues have taken it middle of the night. They have taken it on the weekend, during the weekday, anywhere. So that's a great advantage of this program. You could also visit public exam centers, and I would ask Priscilla to probably give you more information on where the centers are in Sao Paulo. You could also take the exam as part of your training program, which you will go through the accredited training organization. The fees for any individual who want to register by themselves is $400, but since it's a multilateral bank supported program, APMG is going to be offering subsidized pricing depending on who buys the exam. So if a government agency buys the exam, or an academic institution buys the exam, or a commercial company buys the exam, depending on which level of income level of you are, for example, low income, middle income, or high income, as defined by the World Bank Group, you can get different pricing. And for more exact information, you may want to send the email to partnership@apmg-international.com. Now, finally, I would like to invite you to become part of this community, to become part of this growing global PPP professional knowledge center, which is the CP3P program. You can use the Body of Knowledge in any capacity. It is a copyright to the multilateral banks. It is available for free. It is very extensive, and you can use that as a benchmark in your public procurement process, for example. You can become certified yourself as a government official, as an individual, as a student, as any kind of professional. You can also become part of a training organization, or you can put your company you can make your own company accredited training organization, ATO, which can offer these kind of programs to your audience. And the second biggest aspect is that you can incorporate the curriculum in your capacity building programs. Even if you don't want to take the exam, it shouldn't impact your development of better PPP practices. The body of knowledge is there, and you can use it in any form as long as it's non-commercial use, and you can cite the source to APMG and the World Bank Group. You can develop PPP programs in terms of understanding of how PPPs are developed, prepared, and implemented. We are happy to work with you, and this is what we are looking for in terms of our clients from the World Bank Group. We would like to build some capacity building programs with you so that we reduce this knowledge gap and work towards a better pipeline, a bankable pipeline of projects which can go to the market. So in final terms, I would just point it out to you that the website is there for everybody to see, and I'm sure Priscilla will go through that. And my contact information is there as well on this slide. And I'm really happy to be speaking with you and speaking with this wonderful panel, which is sitting in front of you. If you have any questions, please get back to me, or you could also contact Marcos or Priscilla. Thank you very much.